Hey guys, Sean here for sgtreport.com. What I'm about to share here should hopefully swing the arm of justice in a direction that may lead to the arrest of what appear to be some hardcore pedophiles in the global pedophile ring. And I just want to start with this soundbite from my friend Gans Shimura from the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel. I have an interview with Gans that we just did, and I'll be posting it on Sunday night, and I want to kick this video off with this soundbite from that interview.
You talked about Ephesians 6:12. You go back one chapter, Ephesians 5:11. It says this, "Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them." And interestingly, in verse 12, it says, "For it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret." And man, is that true with everything that's come to light here. It's shameful to discuss all this stuff, blood sacrifice, pedophilia, taking kids out of Haiti for a pedophilia. I mean, it is shameful. It's hard to talk about it because it's so shameful. Yeah. But it says here, right here in Ephesians, that we need to expose this stuff.
And we need to expose it. That's why I'm making this video, you guys. I have been following Pizzagate and the Podesta emails very closely. Obviously, we all have. And for those of you to whom that information might be new, I'll leave some links below so you can get up to speed on the DC Pizzagate pedophile ring, what appears to be a hardcore pedophilia ring that may involve the Podesta brothers, Tony and John Podesta. John Podesta was Hillary Clinton's closest advisor on her campaign. And as we've been following that story, I have been saying that based on the police sketches of two suspects believed to be involved in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, I've been saying if we could prove that these two suspects, which look almost identical to Tony Podesta and John Podesta, if we could prove that these two men were in Portugal around the time of Madeleine's disappearance on May 3rd, 2007, then it would be almost certainly true that these suspects who were involved in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann are in fact John Podesta and his brother Tony Podesta. Now, what I want to share with you first is the fact that the global pedophile ring, as best exemplified by Jimmy Savile, the BBC personality whose pedophilia and necrophilia and child rape and child abuse had been covered up for decades, despite being well known because of his relationship with the elite like Prince Charles and the Queen of England, who knighted him. And I just shared this shocking video at thephaser.com in which Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols tells British agent of the Crown, Piers Morgan, that he knew about Johnny Savile's pedophilia way back in 1978, and he actually spoke out about it. And instead of anything being done to Jimmy Savile, Johnny Rotten was banned from the BBC.
In 1978, at the height of the Sex Pistols explosion, there you are saying about Jimmy Savile, he was into all kinds of seediness that we all knew about. We weren't allowed to talk about it. I know some rumors. So you had heard the kind of thing that we now know about him, or stuff like that?
Yeah. I think most kids did too. Most kids wanted to go to the top of the pops, but we all knew what that cigar muncher was up to. But I'm very, very bitter that the likes of Savile and the rest of them were allowed to continue.
Did you ever try and do anything about Savile?
I did my bit. I said what I had to.
Did they air that? No. It just got suppressed for legal reasons.
Yeah. And
did you meet?
I found myself being banned from BBC Radio there for quite a while for my contentious behaviour.
Because of that?
But they wouldn't state this directly. There'd be other excuses.
I mean, it's shocking.
Oh, yeah.
He got away with it for another 30-odd years.
Well, not only him, a whole bunch of them. And these are the purveyors of good taste, huh?
This was at the height of Johnny Rotten's fame. So not even the rich and the famous can get these pedophiles put away. Now, I bring that up because what are the chances that Madeleine McCann would have suspects that look like Tony and John Podesta if Tony and John Podesta weren't in Portugal? Just a huge coincidence, right? Well, thanks to the work of so many researchers out there on Reddit who are all over Pizzagate, we now have information that is going to blow you away. So first, my thanks to Victorus Libertas, the website from which I shared this information, that Anon claims FBI insiders have the goods and the intelligence community has the facts, which allegedly indicate that John and Tony Podesta were in Portugal on May 3rd, 2007, the day Madeleine McCann vanished. Now, here's what's astonishing about these claims. Sir Clement Freud, the grandson of Sigmund Freud, was a British broadcaster, writer, politician, and chef. And according to a former British ambassador, Clement Freud sexually abused dozens of children. And what's even more sinister about this is that his $1 million holiday villa was located just 1/3 of a mile away from where Madeleine McCann vanished. Now, as I share this story with you, I want to note that Freud died in 2009 at age 84. Madeleine McCann disappeared in 2007. And what's really sinister about this is the McCanns didn't know Clement Freud prior to Madeleine's disappearance, but Clement befriended them after her disappearance and invited them to his villa in the midst of the investigation of the disappearance of their daughter. He wrote, "Been ashamed of the intrusion into your lives by our media, and if you would care to come to lunch or dinner at any time before Wednesday next, do ring and let me know. I cook decent meals." Now, evidently, Clement was a very good actor because according to Kate McCann's account of spending time with him after Madeleine's disappearance, she said, "Thank God for people like Clement who kept us smiling." Now, again, I think it's important to stress the fact that after the death of Clement Freud in 2009, all of the stories of his pedophilia and child sexual abuse came pouring out, just as they did after the death of Jimmy Savile. So imagine how sinister this situation is as I share with you the real bombshell. Now imagine the horror years later as we understand what was really going on here. A child sexual predator befriended the McCanns and invited them to his home, which was 1/3 of a mile away from where Madeleine disappeared. Now here's the bombshell. Police in Suffolk have confirmed the now known pedophile, Clement Freud, was out of the country when Madeleine was abducted. However, his home had been loaned to his friends, John and Tony Podesta. Now, if this information is true, it should not only reopen the investigation into the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, it should blow the roof off of this global pedophile ring. And I'll finish by saying that according to Anonymous, one of their FBI insiders can confirm that the intelligence community has data which indicates John and Tony Podesta were in Portugal on May 3rd, 2007, the day Madeleine McCann vanished. The Podesta brothers were staying with a friend named Clem, who turns out to be Clement Freud, who is known to be a pedophile. Once again, take a look at the police-generated sketch of the two suspects being sought in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, and take a look at John and Tony Podesta. And now knowing everything that we do about the Podesta WikiLeaks emails, Comet Ping Pong.
Jared is known to hang out down here. He likes world sounds. Tamales.
And little boys.
And children.
I think that was his manager.
No.
We all have preferences.
And what appears to be a pedophilia ring in Washington, D.C., reopen the Madeleine McCann investigation and bring in John and Tony Podesta for questioning, if indeed they were in Portugal in May of 2007, staying at Clement Freud's villa. They have a lot of explaining to do. Please share this video with everyone you know, and by all means, please feel free to contact Madeleine's parents at findmadeleine.com and help them identify image reference 1A and image reference 1B. They may be interested to know that Tony Podesta and John Podesta look a lot like these sketches and were allegedly staying just 1/3 of a mile away from where Madeleine disappeared on May 3rd, 2007. Thanks for watching, and for real news 24/7, visit us at sgtreport.com.